So today we're combining two chapters because they're both review, okay? And I figured we could do this in one day. So we're going to do chapters 1.6 and 1.7, which is multiplying by 1 and 2 digit numbers. So today our learning goal in math is really to clarify or to make sure we are all on the same page about how to multiply 1 and 2 digit numbers, okay? All right, let's look at this problem. It says, each day, an airline flies 9 commercial jets from New York to London, England. Each plane holds 293 passengers. So how many planes are there?
9.
How many planes are there?
9.
And each plane, how many people can sit on each plane?
293.
Okay. It says if every seat is taken, so if the whole flight is booked on each flight, how many passengers fly on this airline from New York to London in one day? Well, you could solve that by doing 293 times 9. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and write in your notebook 293 times 9. You don't need to copy down the problem, but I do want you to take notes on how to do the math. Now, it says here that step 1 is to estimate 293 times 9. How could I estimate? What is 293 pretty close to? Liam? 300. Okay, so we think that 293 is pretty close to 300, and we can keep the times 9. So what's 300 times 9? Soham? 2,700. So we know about 2,700 passengers fly each day on this airline from New York to London. We've estimated. Step 2 is we're going to multiply the ones first. So what numbers here are in the ones place? There's a 3 and a 9. So, Joseph, what's 3 times 9?
27.
27. Good. So we would write the ones, and we would regroup the 2. Because 27 ones, is that the same as 2 tens and 7 ones? Good. So we have 2 tens and 7 ones, right? So we're going to go ahead and write the 7 down in the ones place, and we're going to regroup the 2's. Then step 3 is to multiply the tens. So we already knew that we had the 27, so we regroup the 2 over to the top. Let's look at the tens place. We have a 9 in the tens place. So what's 9 times 9? 9 times 9. Daniel? 81. Good. What do I need to do with the 8? I know that 90 times 9 is 81, right? So I can write the 10. Sorry, it's 810, right? So I can write the tens place here. And what do I need to do to this 8? And when I'm doing that, what is that called? Regrouping. Good. We're going to regroup the hundreds. Very good. And then I still need to add, we have 2 tens here. So I need to add 2 tens to 1 10, which is how many tens? 3 tens. So instead of 1 being there, what do I need here? 3. Good. Okay. Step 4 is to multiply the hundreds. So we have our 3 there. We regroup the 8, sorry. So we have 200 times 9. What's 200 times 9? Arushi?
It's 1800.
Another way to say 1800 is?
1,800.
1,800. Very good. So can we write do we have any other hundreds we need to add? How many hundreds do we need to add?
8.
8. Okay. So what's 1,800 plus 800?
2,600.
Good. So let's go ahead and write that. So we have the 6, the 2. So we know that in one day, how many passengers fly from New York to London? How many passengers, Divana?
2,637.
Good. Now, is this answer reasonable? Is this answer reasonable? How do you know that this answer is reasonable, Karan? Is it close to what we wanted our zone to be, 2,700? So we know that check. Yep, our answer is reasonable. It says, a Siberian tiger sleeps as much as 18 hours a day. Can you imagine sleeping 18 hours a day?
Yes.
That equates up to 126 hours per week. Now it says about how many hours does a tiger sleep in a year? There are 52 weeks in 1 year. So to estimate, we have to see what zone our answer should be in. I love the way Sarah said that. So the multiplication problem would be 126 times 52. I love the way I see Clarissa's whole table rushing to write that problem down in their notebooks. 126 times 52. Now, in order to estimate, we know that 126 is pretty close to 100, and we know that 52 is pretty close to 50. So, could I find the zone of my answer by multiplying 100 times 50? All right, so let's do that. Claire, what's 100 times 50?
5,000.
So we know that in the end we should learn that a Siberian tiger sleeps about 5,000 hours each year. Okay? So much like, let's go through all the steps of multiplying by a 2-digit number. You can see here this is different than what we did earlier because instead of multiplying by 1 digit, we have 2 digits in the second factor. Yes? Okay, but we do it much in the same way. So first we multiply the ones. What numbers are in the ones place? Which numbers do we have in the ones place here, Divina?
In the bottom?
In all, where's our ones place? In all the numbers. 126, what's in the ones place?
6.
Okay. And 52, what's in the ones place? Good, so we're going to multiply 6 and 2. Okay? Or sorry, we're going to multiply, that's not correct. Hold on one second. We're going to multiply the 126 times the ones place, which is the 2. Okay? So 2 times 6 is 12. I'm going to write the 2 and regroup the 1. 2 times 2 is
4.
plus 1.
5.
Do I need to regroup anything? Okay, and 2 times 1 is?
2.
So 126 times 2 ones is how many ones? 252 ones. Okay, you're writing this all down in your notebook. Okay, we know that 252 ones was the ones. Now let's multiply by the tens. What number is how many tens do we have in the second factor right here? How many tens do we have? Adriana? 5 tens. Okay, so we're going to multiply now by the tens, which is the 5. Okay, so what's 5 times 50? Sorry, 50 times 6 is? What's 5 times 6? 30, right? So we write a 0 here because now we're working with the tens. So if I have 30, what do I need to write in the tens place? 0, and I'm going to regroup the 3. 5 times 2 is?
10.
Is how much?
10.
Plus 3?
13.
Okay. And I regroup the 1. 5 times 1 is?
5.
Plus 1?
6.
Okay. So 126 times 5 tens is how many tens? How many tens? Tanvi?
630 tens.
630 tens, or how many ones is that? Misaki? We're not there yet. We're just looking at the red part because we just multiplied by the tens. So we know that 126 times 5 tens is 630 tens. Or if I want to change that to ones, how many times bigger is it 10 versus 1? How many times bigger?
10 times.
10 times bigger. So if I have 360 tens and I want to call it ones, how many ones do I have? How many ones do I have? Soham? 6,300 ones. Good. So now we're going to add the partial products, okay? We know that we have 126 times 2 is how much? 252. And 126 times 50 was how much, Stuart? How many ones do we have when we did 126 times 550?
Oh, yeah. 6,300.
Okay, so now let's add it. 2 plus 0 in the ones is?
2.
I need your help. 2 plus 0 is?
2.
5 plus 0 is?
5.
2 plus 3 is?
5.
6 plus 0 is?
6.
So, a Siberian tiger sleeps about how many hours in 1 year?
6,522.
Now, is that a reasonable answer? How do you know that's a reasonable answer? I want you to turn to your table group and tell them, how do you know that's a reasonable answer? So So we know our answer is reasonable because 6,552 is in the zone of what our estimate was, which was 5,000. Okay?